Hello everybody, happy Saturday. That's the day that I'm filming this. I know it's been a little bit. I know most of you guys probably know that my granddaughter was born this last Sunday. I am actually in the town that my daughter lives in. I spent hours with my granddaughter and my daughter, and now I'm going to go do some grocery shopping. But since I'm here in town, I thought I would go ahead and stop in the thrift store, take a look, see if I need anything. Now, do I actually need anything? Probably not. But I don't get to go thrifting very often, and I thought, what the heck, let's go ahead and go in here, because the last thrift store that I brought you guys to was the thrift store that's in my county that's about 30 miles south of me, and I go there once a month, and that's when I get my massage. But this thrift store, it is a Goodwill, and I haven't been in here in a long time. Not looking for anything in particular. My granddaughter doesn't need anything. Mr. Snow Gardener, I'm sure, needs something, but I don't know what. And speaking of Mr. Snow Gardener, he is in the process of getting more of his tattoo work done on his leg. So right now they're getting ready to tattoo the front of his knee, his kneecap. Looks like it's gonna hurt. His tattoo artist, our tattoo artist, did recommend some numbing cream, so we went ahead and got that, and it's probably a good thing. But let's go thrifting, and I don't know if I'm going to take you guys in the grocery store, because of course the grocery haul will be on my other channel, Snow Gardener 307. All right, you guys, let's go thrifting. Let's go in here and see what we can find. They don't look super busy. So many phone cases in here. Oh, and the music is really loud, of course. Not sure if I'll be able to let you guys listen to this, or if we'll have to do a overlay of talking. Unfortunately, the music was way too loud for me to even think of what to say to you guys. So I decided not to even film any sort of commentary as I walked around the thrift store. One of the reasons why I like going to the thrift store is you just never know what you're going to find. You can save money. You can find great items. Here, this canning jar, 50 cents for one. That is an amazing deal, because of course a case of canning jars, if you get 12 of them, that would be $6 if you're paying thrift store prices. And of course, the last time I bought canning jars, I think that they were close to $20 a case. $18 I think is what they were. But a lot of times at my thrifting store, I will find jars, pint-sized jars like that for $2, $2.50. That's when it's not worth thrifting. I will tell you guys, if you do thrift canning jars, and I think I've said this before, but make sure you check the rims of the canning jar, because that is the most important part if you are going to can with it. I love to look at all of the decor items. I can say that going thrifting is just a fun activity for me. You never know what you're going to find. And I love looking at the different styles of things. And it is amazing, because I see a lot of stuff that I'm like, what is that? Right? I'm like, where did this come from? I love all of the holiday decor. You guys know I'm Christmas crazy, but I have been attempting to downsize my decor. Now, not necessarily Christmas decor, but other holidays. And of course, with having grandchildren, maybe that will change, but I don't see my granddaughter spending a lot of time with me during the holidays, just because of course she's got her parents' house and I live 100 miles away. She's got 2 sets of grandparents in the town where she lives, and we are the furthest away, which is 100 miles. I still feel blessed to be close enough to visit with her. We've got so many clothes in here. I actually didn't even spend any time looking at clothes. You can get totally lost and spend hours looking at the thrifted clothes, which can be a lot of fun. But I didn't have anything on the list that I needed. And you guys know, I took you through my drawers of my shirts and my pajamas and stuff and just got rid of stuff. So I didn't need to fill it up with anything new. For clothing, of course, my favorite thrift store is Uptown Cheapskates. Let me know down below. Have you guys heard of Uptown Cheapskates before? I go to the Uptown Cheapskates in the Salt Lake Valley, in Salt Lake, Utah. This mirror right here reminded me of stuff that used to be in my aunt's house when I was growing up. And of course, I had to say hello to you guys in the mirror. When I asked Mr. Snow Gardener if there was anything that he needed at the thrift store, He said, nope, he is pretty dang good. And so, of course, like I told you guys before we went into the thrift store, Mr. Snow Gardener was getting his tattoo while I was doing this. So I was kind of wasting time, right? Just spending a little bit of time seeing what I could find. And like I said, so much stuff in this thrift store. One of my favorite things to go and look at is the decoration items. But I can tell you guys that in order for me to purchase Christmas decor, it has to be something that is out of this world. I already have so much Christmas decor. And of course, you guys saw I just bought a bunch of Christmas decor on clearance after. I did love this Halloween train set right there. There was only 2 pieces, but Halloween is always close to my heart because that's when my daughter was born. That's when Julia's birthday is Halloween. So I used to have so much Halloween decor. I actually passed that on to Julia, so she still has quite a bit. And I just love looking at the glass items. Now here, I'm going to go ahead and cut out because there were children in my footage and I didn't want to show you guys that. This looks like maybe some sort of dish that turns into a Christmas tree for $2. But again, it has to be something really good in order for me to go ahead and buy it because I am trying to downsize all of my stuff. As a reminder, you guys, stuff is just stuff. So here's another canning jar. So that's $1 for a quart jar. That's still a great price. Now, some canning jars are not actually branded canning jars. A lot of people don't want to can unless it's in a canning jar. For me, I've got canning jars that aren't branded canning jars. They're kind of like my last choice. And I love looking at all of the serving plates and platters. Some of my most recent serving plates and platters have come from the thrift store. I do have 2 buffets in my dining room, which helps with having serving utensils or serving platters. I thought that picture was pretty neat because it was glass, and I did pick it up to see if it was glass, but then I started thinking, what am I going to put in here? I also always look at the coffee mugs. I have so many coffee mugs, and I use maybe 3 or 4 mugs, and I use them on a repeat cycle. And that's all I do. So I certainly don't need more coffee mugs. Here, I wasn't sure what this was. I thought I recognized the brand that was on this. Maybe it's something for my granddaughter, but I wasn't sure. And I didn't really need it. And my daughter doesn't need anything right now. She got hooked up from all the family members. She bought some stuff secondhand. She bought some stuff new. And we have got great grandparents, grandparents, and siblings, of course, that are spoiling my granddaughter like crazy already. She is 9 days old today as I am talking to you guys in the commentary. I'm also looking for something in the pictures, photographs, frames. So I do have something every time I go to the thrift store. I look for a certain size. I am looking for a horizontal print or frame that I can put above my TV in my bedroom. So size-wise, I would say maybe 8 inches by like 36 inches. I have a Christmas thing that can go up there, but when it's not Christmas time, I don't have anything to go up there. So I always look, and this was a springform pan and I wanted to see what brand it was. I don't need one, but I was thinking about my daughter, but she had her hands full, of course, with the baby here today. So I didn't want to pester her too much. I always look for cast iron. Of course, a lot of times, especially at Goodwill, if there is cast iron, it is so expensive. Didn't spend a lot of time. I love seeing all the patterns here. I am not a sewer, but it brings back memories. My mom had so many patterns and would work on different things. She wasn't a great sewer, but she tried. That's all I could say. And a funny story for you guys. I am not actually a sewer of our family. Mr. Snow Gardener is. His mother bought him a sewing machine. I would have to say 10 or 11 years ago because that's what he asked for. So he is the one that will sew things, that will mend things. It's just not something that has ever caught my fancy, something that I wanted to spend a lot of time doing. And you look here, I mean, the sad thing about thrift stores is the amount of stuff, right? So much stuff. But the good thing about thrift stores is hopefully it stops it from filling up the landfill. So let's go ahead and head to my car. All right, you guys, we are leaving Goodwill. I did not get anything The music was very loud in there, so I didn't bother talking to you guys because I could barely hear myself think. I am going to go ahead and go wash my vehicle because it's pretty nice today, and I have salt all over my vehicle, so I need to get that washed off. And I'm also going to be, like I said, going grocery shopping. Then I will go check on my hubby and see how his tattoo appointment is going. And then after he is done, we will probably head home. Now, he did have a full day tattoo appointment today, and that is from 10 to 6. So quite a long appointment, and he is a champ. That leg sleeve is looking so amazing. The artist is amazing. And yes, I am recording while I'm driving, but you guys can see I'm hands-free, not really looking at you guys much, so I don't worry too much about that. So we are in the town that I grew up in. I am originally from Utah, and I was born there, but I moved to Wyoming with my mother, obviously, when I was 2. So I grew up here, and in my family, I was known as the Wyoming cousin because all the rest of my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents, pretty much everybody lived in Utah. And my cousins, we grew up very, very close, even though we did live in separate states. And because of that, I consider all of my cousins' children, my nieces and nephews, and my kids call, technically they're second cousins, right? My cousins, they call them auntie and uncle, stuff like that. So we're gonna go get this done, and then I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Here is the tattoo parlor where both Bridger and I get our tattoos done. Design Studio Salah, and our tattoo artist is Dave. All that blood, the heck's up with that? It looks good. That's so cool. Happy Monday, everybody. Well, today is the day that I promised myself that I would get back to normal in my life. I made several trips to help my daughter and hang out with my granddaughter, so that was amazing. But today we are back to the real world, unfortunately. And so I figured I'd better pick up my camera and vlog. And I do have a little vlog that I'm probably gonna put up today. So we'll have a little bit of footage from Saturday as well as a little bit from today, and we will get back into the rotation of things. So amazing, you guys, being a grandmother so far. Of course, I knew I was so excited to have my first grandbaby, and she is so sweet. She is such a good baby. And all of that hair, she does remind me of Julia. I don't know if I've told you guys in a vlog or not, but my daughter, who is 100% a towhead, a blonde, was born with dark hair like my granddaughter. And I am not going to share her name if I can help it on the vlogging and stuff. I'm not going to share pictures of her. My daughter, you know, she can share her on her social media, but that is her child, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I'm not going to do it because I know that there are some other YouTubers that I've watched in the past for family vlogs and stuff like that, and they often say that they regret sharing their children on YouTube. So I'm not going to be sharing my granddaughter on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and deposit some money into the bank. I went through my account this morning and went ahead and did the transaction list where I figure out how much I need to pull from what account to pay for what we have paid. We did have a ton of spending this last week on fast food, on just things for my daughter and my granddaughter. So I needed to put some cash in. Some of it I didn't do cash. I just moved from sinking fund into my account so I can pay that. So that's what I'm doing today. And then after this, I'm gonna head and get a chai tea. Puppies will get a treat. I'll also get my husband a mountain mocha because he is home. He got his tattoo, which I'll show you guys the footage for that, which you may have already seen. And then, so you guys saw that Bridger got his tattoo, and after the bank, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Mountain Mocha and get myself a chai tea, get the puppies a treat, and go ahead and get Mr. Snow Gardener a mountain mocha. That is the drink that he likes. That's their signature drink. I believe it's like a Mexican chocolate coffee is what it is. That's his favorite thing and has been forever. He is still off and has been off for close to a week, which is really good for him. He did get his tattoo done, which you guys saw the little bit of footage that I shared with you that. And he has been in a lot of pain. A lot of pain. He's like, I have never had a tattoo hurt this bad before. His tattoo artist did have him order numbing gel because of the knee and the area around the knee being such a sensitive spot. And so he hasn't been doing much. I can tell you guys this, I haven't been doing much either besides going out of town to see the grandbaby. I have a lot of stuff to do. I am behind on a lot of stuff. And I did put a thing up, of course, letting everybody know that I was taking time for family time, right? So that not only included time with my granddaughter, my daughter, and my son, but also with my husband. My husband, just in case you didn't know, he is a driller for a company. They do all kinds of drilling. So it's not just oil. They do drilling for like pylons, for bridges, for sound walls. They do water well drilling. Not that my husband really does much water wells because generally they're not as big and deep as the holes he drills. But the man works his butt off. He has no schedule. So when my family tries to say, hey, when can we plan something? When is Bridger off? I don't ever know. And I guess the good thing about that is that when we take multiple vacations in a year, his boss lets him do it, right? And of course, he only has one paid week of vacation. So he's always taking unpaid. And so, of course, we will be going to Hawaii in March. I will have my surgery in April. Then we will go to Honduras in September. And we are going to Austria in December. That's right, everybody. We are going to Vienna. I found an amazing deal. I can't remember if I've told you guys this or not, but I found an amazing deal on flights. And so our flights with insurance for the flights were less than $475 total. And the bonus is that on the way back, we are flying business class. That's right, everybody. So we're super excited about that. Okay, I'm going to order my drink and then I'll catch up with you guys some more. Delicious. All right, you guys, got my chai tea. I'm almost home. And so I'm not sure what today's going to bring. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in my office. I have been working on getting Christmas decor down. I did not film any of it. Right now, my back living room looks like a Christmas disaster because I have piles of different ornaments in different locations, like on the floor, on top of the kennel, you know, all the places, because, you know, you've got 5 to 8 different types of ornaments or different things. I've got totes out, so we're going to work on that today, but I have really got to work on my membership stuff because normally my members get an email on the 1st, but it is the 2nd. They haven't gotten it. I did say on Monday, but the good thing with my membership is as far as the budget kits and stuff, it is a month ahead. If you want to learn more about my budgeting and my budgeting membership, make sure you go check out my channel at SnowGardener307 Budgets. All right, you guys, we're home. So we're going to go in, get some office work done, and I'll see you guys a little bit later. Like I said, I know this isn't my budgeting channel, but I'm pretty excited about this, so I wanted to share it with you guys. And it's our next step in our journey, right, is setting ourselves up for retirement. And of course, I turned 50 this year. I will have a pension. When I start at 60, I'll get my sheriff's office pension. So I'll have that. Then there's Social Security. I never plan on having Social Security, but of course, it would be amazing to be able to live off my pension and Social Security and not even touch my retirement. But you never know how that's going to go. But I'm going to go ahead and put some stuff up here for you guys. I just took little snippets out of Mr. Snow Gardener's pay stub because, of course, you guys know there's a lot of personal information on there, and I didn't want any of that getting out. So this one right here is his total pay for 2 weeks, you guys, and this is because he is working a lot of hours. He is working more overtime oftentimes than he is straight hours every week, so a lot. So his total pay was $5,692.92. Tax and deductions was $2,609.35. Ouch, right? For his paycheck of $3,083.57, which for a 2-week check, that's pretty dang good, right? Ain't nobody complaining about that. So our goal is to follow the Dave Ramsey recommendation along with our financial advisor who is affiliated with Dave Ramsey. So of course they say the same thing, and they say 15% of your, what is it? Your gross, no, your net income. So the $5,692.92, he should put 15% of that to retirement. So that equals $853.94. I did the math really quick and you guys can tell I'm looking at notes. So let me go ahead and put up the next little thing that I took. So this is only part of the deductions. I didn't include the federal taxes, the state taxes, all of that. We don't have state tax in Wyoming, but we do have to pay state tax if we work in other states. So when Mr. Snowgardener works in Utah, and Mr. Snowgardener just opened the door and he's listening to a book on tape. So let me ask him to turn that down so you guys can hear me. Okay, I'm back. He shut off his book. It was very loud. It was fine when he was in the bathroom in the shower, but so 15% is the goal. And so this little snippet here, what I was telling you guys is it shows his 401k. So his 401k, he's put in $452.48. This doesn't show the employer match, but that's what he has put in. It also shows down at the very bottom, it shows Roth 401. What that is that's the simple IRA offered through his work as well. So he did $169.68 into that. The nice thing about having the 401k option and the simple Roth IRA through his work, that means he can put more money to retirement. I also like the idea of him being more diversified. The other thing that Mr. Snowgardener is working on is his personal Roth IRA. We are funding that every single month by doing $625. So if I cut that in half, because he gets paid every 2 weeks, that's $312.50. So the good thing is, for this paycheck, he is putting in $934.66 towards his retirement, which is above that 15%. So like I said, I just wanted to share with you guys. I know this isn't my budgeting channel and stuff, but it's just something that we're excited about. I can also tell you guys though, that upping these contributions to retirement, and we're having a little bit of growing pains, right? Some people probably looked at last year's budgets and went, why is there less money to go towards the mortgage compared to what he was paying towards his truck? This is part of the reason right here. So if you like the next check, it may not be as big, right? It may be bigger, it may not be, but he is putting those percents in. So we are working towards that goal. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and head to the post office with Mr. Snowgardener, get my Etsy orders mailed. And I think Mr. Snowgardener has some work clothes that are at the post office. So we're going to go pick those up. Apparently I didn't do a closing. So until I see you guys next time, remember to keep on smiling. Bye, everybody.